Thank you, Allison, and thank you to the Dixie Chicks. Six years ago, I was fortunate enough to be elected as the national treasurer of the Young Democrats of America. Little did I know that as treasurer, we had about $15,000 in the bank, a part-time executive director, and our office was in a hallway of the Democratic National Committee. Slight correction on that. It was in a hallway until they moved us to the basement of the building across the street. YDA was a great place for networking, but we had no credibility as an organization that moved voters. We were irrelevant to progressive groups, labor organizations, and our Democratic candidates. There were no press stories about young voters. There were no studies showing how the youth vote mattered and how it literally makes a difference in whether or not Democrats win or Democrats lose. I am sure that over the last 75 years of this roller coaster ride that is YDA, we have had our ups and downs. However, it was hard to imagine at that time that we had really made that much progress since that first convention in 1932, when a group of young Democrats met in my backyard of Kansas City to organize what now has become the organization you see and you are participating in today. I am so happy to deliver tonight, after 2 terms as your president, a president's report that shows an organization that has grown, that has changed, and has become an important political force, representing thousands of members and speaking for millions of people, progressives, liberals, and Democrats all around the country. Over those 6 years, I've had the honor to serve with 27 different national officers, close to 100 executive committee members, hundreds of national committee members, and thousands of delegates to our conventions just like you. Those dedicated leaders understood that we were at a crossroads for our organization, that we needed to decide if we had the drive and the dedication to invest the amount of time needed to turn things around. Sometimes it felt like I was a tour guide or a group leader trying to take a high school class on a field trip they didn't want to go on. And sometimes people doubted my sanity and wondered if we were actually going to make it over the next hurdle. There were weeks and sometimes months with no money. There were times when it just didn't feel good to be a young Democrat. However, it was totally worth it. As I stand here today, the risks that we took, the bets that we made, and the time that we spent has all paid off. We come here to Dallas with our largest convention in history. We are a respected national organization, growing our chapters and our presence in places now more than ever in this country and even around the globe. Since the last time we met in San Francisco, we've achieved some amazing results. At the national office in DC, we've hired 5 national full-time permanent staff positions. We transferred the office to having an organization run by a volunteer president like me and a part-time administrative staffer to a real political operation with top-level staff, and you've all met them here this weekend. We changed our structure to create transparency in our process and in our appointments. We took the powers of me, that volunteer president, transferred them to a great new executive director and a board of directors to govern this organization into the future. But the changes we needed in DC weren't the only investment. In fact, they were also not the most important. We have invested in the states, in all of you. We invested in the people in this room to make a difference. We provided free websites to any of our chapters, caucuses, or other young Democratic organizations. We developed an online membership tool that you all know and love, Demopolis, which will continue to grow and develop and allow us to connect and manage young Democrats better than ever before. We threw out the model of targeted states. We offered every state, regardless of whether they were blue or red or purple or orange, a chance to receive money from YDA and partner with programs on YDA and make a difference for Democratic elected officials. After years and years of $15,000 to $30,000 budgets, in my first term we raised over $1.6 million. And then we did the next hardest thing. We kept it up. In the second term, we raised $1.3 million, even without a presidential election to keep us going. And now, we are fully invested with the Democracy Alliance, a group of major donors who are looking to fund long-term growth of YDA for years and years to come. We've knocked on hundreds of thousands of doors. We've had street conversations with thousands more young people about the elections, and over 80% of those people went on to vote for the Democratic Party. We brought YDA to the America Votes table, a coalition of the largest membership organizations in the country, coordinating and sitting at the same table with groups like the AFL-CIO, Emily's List, the NAACP, SEIU, the Sierra Club, and US Action. We've grown our email and membership lists from 3,500 names to over 150,000 names. And we are engaging our members with text messaging, online petitions, and action steps to lobby our Democratic elected officials on issues that matter to us. In other words, we have revolutionized the Young Democrats of America. And the revolution isn't ending today. Our national staff and our state executive directors are doing amazing work and are ready to continue moving forward and moving YDA forward. With the new leadership teams that you are all electing this weekend, and with all of the new organizers on the ground in your states, I know that this organization is on the right track. We are in a position to take advantage of the current climate where people are actually paying attention to our work and paying attention to young voters to ensure the life of YDA well into the future. Thank you for your work. Thank you for your dedication. Thank you for being here and making sure that YDA is a vibrant, energized organization. For the last 2 years, I've been giving speeches that end with me calling on everyone to join me in the chapter revolution. And as I am now very aware of the countdown of the next 48 hours until my retirement, I want to end tonight's speech a little differently. Rather than asking you to join me in the revolution, I want to say that I'm ready to join you. So I need you not to join the revolution, but to lead it. With your vision and your dedication, we can take YDA into the future another 75 years. Young Democrats, friends, and supporters, lead the revolution. Thank you.